Howdy folks, thanks for joining me in the brewery. So a bit of a chat. People often ask, should I make adjustments to my water? Should I add chemicals to my water? Is it worth it? Is it something I should be doing? Short answer, yes. Yes, you should. Without a doubt, certainly, most definitely, yes, you should be adding chemicals to your water. Let's talk about why. Before we do, shout out to Little John's Patrons. As always, guys, thank you for your support, for helping keeping the channel going. Subscribers to the channel, thank you as well. If you aren't subscribed, hit the button down there. If you're interested in Patreon, hit the link and see what it's all about. Either way, whether you're subscribed, not subscribed, Patreon, hit the like button, all helps out. Before we get into this, I'm just sitting down having a John Boston, the Shipyard Coastal XPA. Now, I've not bought this beer, and I just out of principle I wouldn't buy it. But I was in the bottle, I guess, just having a bit of a cruise after I'd done the shopping, and I picked up a can of Cooper's XPA because I'm pretty sure I've not actually tried one yet. I don't think I have. I've got to go back through the videos just in case I have, but I don't think I have. But so I just had one can, took it to the counter, and the guy had a bunch of these on the counter, and he was in the process of batching. He said, "You want one?" He said, "You can have it. It saves me throwing it out." He said, "They expired yesterday." So it shows how popular they are. The Shipyard Coastal XPA, I have seen somewhere where a couple of people have commented they actually enjoyed this beer. So anyway, I'm going to suck on this while we're having a chat. Should you be using chemicals in your brewing? Should you be adjusting your mash water? Yeah, we're talking mostly all grain brewers, extract brewers. Kit brewers certainly could be something you could look at doing, but it's not so necessary. That's more look at the dechlorinating your water. I'll put a link to a video about that. But for all grain and extract, yes, you should definitely be doing water adjustments and chemical additions to your water. It makes better beer, it just does. I put off doing it for a long time because I thought it was just too difficult, and there wasn't the right software to do it. It was a little bit hard to get your head around. The software now is better, it's easy. Brewfather, Beersmith, there's a number of apps that you can use. They're much easier to use than the old system, which was like Brew and Water and Easy Water Calculator, which were a little bit difficult to understand. Now it's very simple. It's very easy to work out what's going on. All you need to do is get a water report from your local council, your water supply, where it is you get your water from. They'll be able to supply you with a water report. Most of the time it's just sitting on their website and you can just find it. Worst case scenario, you have to send an email off and get someone to send you one. But they'll do it. They've got to if you ask for it. But, and from there you can then put that into your software and start making adjustments to your water based on the beers that you're trying to make and the profile you're trying to get to. I'm not going to go into how you make those adjustments or what you do or what is needed for certain styles. This is just about saying that if you're progressing through your beer journey and you're making the improvements to your beer and you want to take it to the next level, chemical additions, minerals are the that's the next point. That's the go. You can't. I've learned you can't make the best beer you can make without playing with your water. All the breweries do it. Yes, granted, there are styles over the years that have been made specifically from certain water because they've got water. You know, you're talking Burton on Trent in England. You're talking Pilsen. There are certain areas where they've taken the water that they've got available to them and they've made a beer, yeah, which is recognisable with that water. But that's because they've designed a beer specifically for that water. Now, that's not so easy to do on a general homebrew scale. It's far easier to play with the water you got and make it into the water that you need to make the beer you want to make. Okay. So look at it, get into it. It doesn't cost much money. About $30 you can buy all the chemicals you need. Enough for most brewers, probably enough for 12-24 months of brewing. Depends how much you brew. Maybe you need to spend a little bit more, but that's sort of the mark. You certainly don't need to spend a lot of money. You don't need any additional equipment. You just need to buy a couple of bags, containers, boxes, whatever, of the chemicals. And the main three that you're looking at are gypsum, Epsom salt, and calcium chloride. Epsom salt you can buy from Woolworths. Yeah, get in the grocery shop. Ask the missus to buy a box in the grocery shop. And yeah, same stuff you throw into the bathtub. I prefer to actually buy from the brew shop where I've got some bit more bloody confidence that it's probably a food grade source and not designed to be thrown in your bathtub. But I know plenty of people actually just use plain old Epsom salts off the shelf at Woolies. Gypsum, you have to buy from a brew shop. Calcium chloride, same. I initially started off with it in liquid form because I got it from, it was a cheese making supply, but liquid, dry, it's all the same, doesn't make any difference. All works the same. They're your three. There are a couple others you use, and when you look at the software you'll see what they are, but generally you're not even looking at using those. It's pretty unusual. But since I started using chemicals properly and actually taking that little bit of time on brew day, on week recipe creation, to work out what I want to use, my beers have improved, there's no doubt. I reckon the quality of my beers has increased 15-20% overall from just simply playing with the chemical additions and playing with the water profile of the beer. That's a big chunk. And you add that on top of all the little things that you're learning and you're adding along the way, then it adds up to, you know, getting beer at home as good as, or in a lot of circumstances better than what you're buying in the bloody shop. Prime example. That's not a terrible beer, but it's not great either. Entry level beer for crafties. It's got some flavour. If you're a bloody mega small drinker, for crafties, if you're a mega small drinker, then that's got plenty enough flavour to get you excited and interested. Certainly not going to excite any real crafties. But anyway, so yeah, get into the chemicals. Let's not be lazy, John. Let's get into the chemicals and the minerals. Salts. There's lots of people refer to them in all sorts of different ways, and I bounce between chemicals, minerals, and salts depending on which end of the sentence it is. I can use 3 different descriptors in one sentence at times. The reality is, They are minerals and they are salts. Chemical, it's just obviously just an overarching name for what class of solid they are. That's a scientific thing. Minerals and salts we add to the water to change the chemical composition. Let's go with that. Definitely worth it. I shied away from it for a long time. I played around, I dilly-dallied, I didn't really get my head around it. Took me a while to get to the point now where I'm quite comfortable with it. But I got there. And it's, made a massive difference. And to a degree, it can be that one thing that takes your beer from that home brew level to another level. I've made good beer for many years. I can quite happily, quite easily say I make far better beer now than I did 12 months ago. And that's simply because of water and the minerals that I add to it and getting the things right. The other one's lactic acid. Getting your pH right. pH is another one of those mystery things. I spent, I think, like fucking $4,000 on a fancy pH gadget earlier in the year. I didn't spend $4,000 just in case my missus ever sees this. But I spent good dollars on a pH meter. I've not fucking used it. I pulled it out, looked at it, played around with it. No, too much mucking about. Too much carry on. So I just started sticking a bit of lactic acid into me mash water, and it made an improvement. I got better efficiency straight away, first batch, bang, better efficiency, improved beers. So I use it every time. Pretty standard. I throw 3 mils of lactic acid into a into a 23 litre wash. I think I calculated actually at 0.1 of a mil per litre. As an ideal level, just to make some difference. So that's your total mash water. So I normally mash about 32. I normally have about 32 litres for a 23 litre batch. So 32 to 35. So 3 mils ballparkish. So I said, if you aren't at that point, if you haven't got to treating your water, do so. Dechlorinate, there's videos. I've talked about dechlorination before. Calcium sorbate, vitamin C powder, and sodium metabisulfate added to your mash water 15 minutes before you mash in. Will eliminate chlorine and chloramine, no problem at all. And then add your salts, your chemicals, your minerals, and go from there. Better beer, happier brewers. It's win-win. You can't go wrong. As always, keep records, whether it be on some software, or in a notebook, in your brew log, wherever it is. Keep the records so you can compare to the beers you know, and see how it goes, and tweak and adjust as you go along if you need to, just like everything else in beer. Taste, record, taste, record, taste, record. Compare, adjust. It's a fucking fun game, isn't it? Love it. That's brewing, it's what it's about. But anyway, that's it, guys. In case you're not sure, I'm in support of chemical additions for your water. That's me. I'm out of here. Comments, questions down the bottom as always. Patreon, thumbs up, guys, thank you very much. Subscribers, thank you as much as well. If you're watching, hit that bloody like button. But that's me. So till I see you again, we're brewing beer, drinking beer, talking beer, good brewing.